there were several really interesting points that came out of this group conversation between Meri, her sister Rebecca, Rebecca's husband Nathan, who is best friends with Cody. First off, I'm going to say I wish that they would stop having to overproduce these scenes. So when Rebecca and Nathan show up, Meri sits him down and is like, I'm moving to Parowan. I'm separated from Cody. As though they don't know. Why do they think they're there picking up furniture if they didn't know she was moving? So like the overproduction of like, why don't you guys sit down and just pretend they don't know anything and explain it to them instead of having them just sit down and just talk about it. And the reason why I can say that I mean, first of all, they came all this way with a trailer to pick up stuff from Meri so that she can move. With Cody, being there, they knew. They're supposedly best friends. You don't think that they know? There was a conversation back between them a couple of seasons ago. I have to go rewatch where they were talking about losing a wife. I'm sure Nathan already knew this, but not only that, but later on, somewhere around this spot, Cody is talking about the situation. And Rebecca's like, as far as I know, Janelle's gone, and then she says, he's talking about how this is so difficult for him. And she's like, you told them you didn't want to be married to them. She knows. She knows what's going on. And first of all, Rebecca, gold star, huge gold star for that observation, because yes, 100%, he told his wives he did not want to be with them and they left as a result. And he said it in many different ways, many different times to many different wives, whether we're talking about Meri just constantly refusing any bids of affection, whether it was telling Christine he was no longer interested in having an intimate relationship with her, or Janelle saying that she had to pick between him and his kids many, many times. And we could find dozens of other opportunities. She knows what's happening. And this is why I have an opinion that whoever is in charge of filming does not get the show. But I think the editors do, because the editors seem to put in stuff that is super relevant, but whoever's doing the questioning never seems to ask the right follow-up question. So the thing that stood out to me the most, besides Rebecca calling him out on the fact that he asked his wives to leave, and you can barely hear it. They're kind of talking over each other. It's clearly an in the moment kind of thing. It wasn't planned. Perfect. This is why I don't like the self-filming. I like because moments like that wouldn't have snuck in. But the thing that really stood out to me in this episode was when Meri, very briefly in her interview, mentions the divorce, the legal divorce. I'm actually rewatching that on my YouTube, and I was complaining about the fact that it is clearly deeply affecting Meri. And Cody and Robin and the rest of the family is kind of bouncing between this rhetoric between it's just a paperwork shuffle and this is a really big deal. And they tried to convince us, and they told us repeatedly, this will not change anything between Cody and Meri. I don't know that it changed things in the sense of it didn't create a problem. It revealed an existing thing. That's what I think, is that this was more a symptom of something that was already happening than necessarily the cause of anything, other than it made Meri more insecure. The catfishing allegedly happened right after that. The catfishing happened. The allegedly is on exactly when it started. But according to her, it started a few months later. This was after Robin had already put her foot down about Meri shouldn't go back to school. She never ended up going back to school. She said that she was going to. It never happened. I don't know how that fits in. But if I was the producer, I would have leaped on this when Meri said, I felt really insecure after that divorce and this and that. And we didn't get a follow-up question. We didn't get anything because they have never really discussed how the legal divorce affected her other than in the moments when everybody kept saying, it's just a paperwork shuffle, it's just a paperwork shuffle. But Janelle knew it was a big deal. Janelle was like, I'm really concerned about what this means. I'm really concerned about I really think what she meant was, I don't trust Robin to manage your estate in a way. This is the first step in us being cut out. And sure enough, now we're at a place where Cody has all these assets and nobody has any access to them. And that was true long before other people left. But my frustration is with the production not asking, how did you feel? Are there things that you didn't share during that time that you now feel comfortable sharing? Are there things that you want to discuss? We were told that this was just a paperwork shuffle, but in retrospect, knowing what we know now, do you think, I would have asked her things like, I know that you made this choice out of the goodness of your heart to protect Brianna, Aurora, and Dayton. And you've always said it only came from you. Was there anything going on behind the scenes? Were you being encouraged? Was there a lot of oh, gee, if only we could adopt them? Was there a lot of that? There's so many questions I would have asked. And instead, it's this throwaway line in the middle of this scene, which did have some good stuff. Like I said, yay, gold star. But in general, it seemed to be a lot of, I think, I'm going to do a whole video, I think, on him. My opinion is Cody's always given him money to do stupid stuff, so Nathan doesn't want to burn this relationship because it's a very useful friendship to him. But, he spent a lot of time pretending he didn't know anything. Oh, gee, you consider your marriage a failure? Yeah, Nathan, she considers her relationship a failure. Anything you want to say, John?
Who are we talking about?
Talking about Nathan, Rebecca, Meri. Anything you want to add, baby?
I didn't hear, no.
Okay, he has nothing to add. Surprise, surprise. Anyway, those are my thoughts.